Welcome to Valley News Now. I'm Adam Shalifu, and today I am joined by Roger Maris Jr. And Roger, you are the man to be this week here in Fargo. Great to have you in studio, and really excited to talk about all the great things the Roger Maris All-Star Week is bringing to town, and all the good that you guys have been able to do through that. So thank you for joining me in studio.
Yeah, absolutely, Adam. Great.
Let's get right into it. Some of these questions I have for you. You know, everyone talks about the events and everything. So first and foremost, just what's it been like so far? How have you enjoyed things?
Well, I mean, first of all, this week is already kicked off. We did that with the Roger Maris Invitational Baseball Tournament, which is really great because, you know, for the first part of this whole 40 years of our golf tournament we've had up here now, we've always done just golf. So to create the Roger Maris All-Star Week and be able to add different events for the kids and the youth and the community is really, really cool. So to be able to start the week off with the Roger Maris Invitational Baseball Tournament was fun. And then on Saturday night we had an Aaron Judge ball we were giving away, and we had a home run derby that night, which got really, really competitive and got really fun. And then we gave the ball away and we pulled a ticket out of the bucket. Kid won the Aaron Judge ball, and then all the little kids are running up to him going, "I'll give you $50, I'll give you $100, I'll give you $500, I'll give you $1,000." So yeah, I wish I had all that videotaped because that was probably the highlight of the whole night. So that kicked off the weekend. And then yesterday we started, you know, at the new sports park. We went out there and kicked off the beginning of Roger Maris All-Star Week with all our clinics and stuff that we have going on. And we had the football out there yesterday, and then we ended up finishing up with basketball in the afternoon. And that was amazing just to get, you know, we've been doing this with these kids now for the last 4 years in Roger Maris All-Star Week, but to take them into that facility, as you well know, is just amazing. I mean, it felt like we were going to a country club, and such an asset for Fargo to have that, and to see the kids out there having a lot of fun and, you know, just having a good time. And that's really what Dad always was all about, is, you know, seeing kids being active. We love that. And for them to have the activities that we have now for Roger Maris All-Star Week and to get the kids involved is just really fun to see.
And, you know, touching on some of the history there and the fact that it is so many different sports, not just baseball, I think that's just really cool because, you know, your father was a star at Shanley High School for football as well. I know one game he even had 4 touchdowns, a couple interceptions, just an absolute monster out there. And so it's cool that it isn't limited to just baseball, because really when you get into the nitty-gritty of this sports community, his legacy isn't just baseball. Obviously that was what was on the biggest platform.
Well, that's true. And there's another thing too, like we have a phrase that we use, and it's called, you know, be a Roger Maris All-Star. So we don't just try to get the kids out there and go through the activities, which we provide them with really good coaches and run a really, really good clinic, but it's the messaging too, you know, how to be a Roger Maris All-Star. So we talked to them about that, you know, and being a Roger Maris All-Star is somebody who is prepared, somebody who works hard, somebody who competes, and somebody who's a good teammate. And those are the things Dad embodied with us, and so we just feel it's important to pass that on to these kids, because he felt that's what made him great, was following that process. And so we tell the kids, look, you know, it's not just sports. If you can embody those things through life and do those things, and it kind of puts you on your path to be successful, and then, you know, hopefully one day be able to, when the opportunity comes your way, stand up and hit a home run, you know.
Absolutely. Love to hear that. And let's talk a little bit about some of those early days. I know you were just, as you told me, 3 years old in 1961, so you probably don't remember that season that well. But if you could share some of the stories you have of being around the ball club throughout your father's career in the majors.
Well, for me, you know, because we lived in Missouri when he was playing for the Yankees, and so the only time I really saw him is when he came to Kansas City to play the A's, and we never went to New York, contrary to what most people think. But so when '67 he got traded to the Cardinals, and they went on that year and won the World Series, and they came back the following year and went to the World Series again and lost it. But those 2 years being there, going to the park with him every day, and just being able to be, you know, a 9 and 10-year-old kid, you know, get early to the ballpark, running through the clubhouses, goofing off, you know, playing pep with your dad, catch with your dad, running down a fly ball here or there, you know, just being around the whole thing was a lot of fun. You know, it was really, really special, but at the time you think like everybody does that, you know, so you don't realize how special it is. You know, you look back, you go, wow, that's pretty cool. But Yeah, so that was really, the whole thing, just being able to be there and just feel the energy in St. Louis at that time, because it was a great time to be in St. Louis for baseball and for his career to end the way it did with another World Series and another opportunity to win another one. So, yeah, so St. Louis to us was a great time.
And I know we talked a little bit yesterday at the Fargo Sports Complex about the way this has all grown. Started as golf tournament and has really gotten some big time wheels onto the point where we're looking at 15 different camps, events throughout the week. But what is it about this whole package for you that inspires you to keep building it, keep growing it, and keep coming back every year and continuing to give back to this community?
Well, it's really, it starts with, Dad started the tournament in '84. He had no idea if it was going to make 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. And at the time, we had no idea that we were going to have a Roger Maris Cancer Center, and so we started '84. 1990, 88, we broke ground, got the Cancer Center going in 1990. And we continued on with the golf tournament and everything else. And then it just got to the point where, we just felt there was more we could do, and then it became about really like, the Cancer Center became such a focal point in the community and was able to do so many wonderful things. And we knew we were doing good at golf, but, Dad really wasn't just a golfer. He loved golf, but that's really wasn't. So we felt like we could create a baseball tournament. That was kind of something, that would relate to Dad. And then we just felt like, we could do community events because Dad loved kids and he loved seeing them being active and doing things. So we felt like, let's create a Roger Maris All-Star Week so that we can get the community involved. And by getting the community involved, it's a way to raise more awareness for the Cancer Center, raise more money for the Cancer Center, and give back to the kids. And, and then once again, Dad's legacy, moves on to new generations of kids down the road too. And so I think just, to be able to continue the Cancer Center, to be able to create awareness for the Cancer Center, to be able to raise money and funds for the Cancer Center to continue to do what they do with all their research, their education, their training, the world-class service they provide, and to be able to hopefully, keep hitting those home runs and sending people out that building, cancer-free or, in remission. So I think that's really the whole thing about it, is just, giving back and trying to do all we can to help, fight the disease of cancer.
And that's definitely something that's really touched everybody's life just about at some point. I lost both my grandparents to cancer. Both my parents have battled it at different times, and it is something that it becomes personal. And so what does it mean to you when you can see the impact beyond, the events themselves, but see the impact of the actual charity work and the money that you guys are raising and helping people, as you said, leave cancer free?
Well, what makes you, I can just tell you, just yesterday alone, I probably had minimum 10 people come up to me and tell me that they're being treated at the Roger Maris Cancer Center. And that was just, yesterday. And every year I'm up here, wherever I go, we go by the Cancer Center, obviously, spend time there. And just to continually hear people talk about, just like you just did, tell you the stories, tell you all the great things that's being done at the Cancer Center with a loved one or a family member or whatever. It just means a lot to know that you're making a difference and making an impact. And I think that's what drives me, and I think drives everybody else in the community that continues to support this week.
Excellent. I just got a couple more questions for you here. I want to ask you about the Aaron Judge situation, because I think the last time I saw you was last summer. So, a lot of things have happened since then. But what was it like for you to kind of experience that, you always say that Aaron Judge, that your father was the true home run king. No performance enhancers, just out there belting homers. And so, what was it like for you to witness Judge finally breaking that on a clean playing field, if you will?
Well, for us, we always felt that Dad was, the home run king because he was, PED free, and we still feel that way. And so when Judge was making his run, we didn't know what was going to happen because people have chased Dad's record many, many times and always fallen short. So you had no idea what was going to happen, but I did feel like at one point, like it was inevitable that Aaron was going to break the record, and then, the Yankees had us come to New York, and obviously game 1, game 2, game 3, game 4. Then it got to the point where like, well, maybe he won't break the record. Who knows, And then finally in Toronto, he tied the record up in Toronto, and and then went back to the Yankee Stadium and thought he'd probably hit it there, and still didn't hit it there. So now he went into his final weekend in Texas to see if he was going to do it there, and he finally accomplished the task. So I think what it really, the cool thing for me and for even my brothers and sisters and the family, like to watch the McGuire whole thing go down and just see how that all happened was interesting, because we weren't there. We were too young to remember Dad going after it, but you can see what a huge event that is.
Sure.
And so, I mean, that captivated everybody. As back in that day, it was like the biggest thing going for the whole. Went on for the whole year, and people just. I mean, it was huge stories we all know. And then to live that was like unbelievable, just because of just the interesting guy, and just putting Dad back into the limelight, and just seeing how maybe what Dad was going through at the time, chasing the record himself, and then coming back now. You go to Aaron Judge, now we're going through it again, because now it's okay. Well, that was kind of like not for real. This is like for real. So now you're going back through it again. And the interesting thing is this time he's a Yankee. So McGuire did it.
Yeah.
Well, the interesting thing, McGuire did it in the stadium that I grew up in. In St. Louis.
Sure.
So we went to the stadium I grew up in St. Louis, and then the ironic thing is now Judge is breaking my dad's record, and he's wearing the pinstripes. So the familiarity in both parks and the familiarity of the whole thing is just kind of ironic. And so just to watch Aaron, do it was amazing. Obviously he's an amazing player and just a great guy. And Dad always said records were made to be broke, and we always felt like if someone did it legit, you take your hat off, shake their hand, and say, great job. And that's kind of what we did with Aaron. Just congratulated him on a great season and a great accomplishment. And but just to be there and witness the whole thing going down, and he was so gracious the whole time, and his family was so amazing to be around. So it was a great experience, and definitely always remember it. And I just think that that doing it the right way is the way to go, and I still feel that way. And I still feel like he is the home run king and should be the home run king in the record books.
And who knows? Maybe one of these kids at one of these camps will break that someday. You never know.
You never know.
You never know. One more question I got for you. Like you said, the week's just getting started. It's just Tuesday morning here at 9:45 a.m. at the time of this broadcast here. What else are you looking forward to? What are you looking forward to the most this week?
Well, I think the most is really, there's a lot of mosts, I guess, but like we're going to go to the Cancer Center on Wednesday and spend some time over there at the Cancer Center with the patients and the doctors and the nurses and everybody who's there, navigators, and just have a chance to spend time with them and just see what's been happening over there, what's going on over there, because we have a lot going on over there right now, and I think just being there, knowing that's such a big thing for this community, and they're doing so many wonderful things. I'd have to say it's probably number one. And then, the golf tournament, we haven't really touched much on that, but, we're in the 40th year of that golf tournament. And, that's pretty iconic, because most golf tournaments don't run more than 5 years. And so for us to be able to do that for 40 years is amazing. So I think going out there would have to be number two, to be able to tee off and know that's the 40th anniversary of the Roger Maris Celebrity Golf Tournament, and know the wonderful things that we've done over the last 40 years, and raising money for some great causes here in Fargo. I think that would definitely have to stand out as number two. Awesome.
And that's just a huge milestone. I think, it goes without saying, but just some of the people were attending this year, it's pretty incredible. And I know, this is big Vikings country. Very cool to get guys like Chad Greenway and Chris Carter, some legends out there.
You got Hall of Famers going out there, and so we got some great people coming out there today. And over the years we've had a lot of amazing celebrities who have been willing to come up here and give their time for this event, and we're fortunate of that. And I think the people of Fargo love having them up here and seeing them. And it's just it's been a great run, and who knows where it continues to go, but we're ready to ride it out as long as as long as everybody's willing to support it and make it happen. We're ready to do it.
And I'm sure they are. Thank you, everyone, so much for joining us. I got to let you go. I know you got a busy day ahead of you, a busy week ahead of you. So that's all for now on Valley News Now. Stay up to date all week. We'll be covering all the events.